The training hall smelled of sweat and old leather, the kind of smell that only years of discipline could produce. General Marcus Holt stood at the center of the room, arms crossed, chest broad, jaw tight, a man carved from military stone. Around him stood 40 of the finest soldiers in the brigade, every one of them decorated, every one of them proud. He had called this session for one reason, a demonstration. He needed a volunteer to face him in hand-to-hand combat, not to humiliate anyone but to teach. He wanted to show the younger recruits watching from the gallery above that even seasoned soldiers could be taken down by technique, by timing, by the one thing brute strength could never replace: composure. But here is the part nobody expected. Here is the moment that would be talked about for years in that barracks, passed from soldier to soldier like a quiet legend. Because what happened next was the kind of thing that reminds you that life never moves in the direction you predict, and that the most powerful people in any room are not always the ones wearing the medals. Nobody raised their hand. The silence stretched long and uncomfortable. The general's eyes swept the row of soldiers like searchlights, and one by one they looked away. Then, from the back of the room, near the supply table where nobody important ever stood, a hand went up. Slow, uncertain, almost apologetic. It belonged to Daniel Yun, the battalion clerk, 26 years old. Thin shoulders, glasses taped at the bridge. He handled paperwork, inventory forms, and lost pens. He had never once been called remarkable. Soldiers forgot he existed the moment they left his desk. The room shifted. A few men smirked. Someone whispered something and got a quiet laugh in return. Even the general paused, visibly caught between dismissal and the faint awareness that turning the boy away would be its own kind of cruelty. He waved him forward. "Fine," he said. "Come on then." Daniel walked to the center of the mat with his hands in his pockets. He didn't bounce on his feet like a fighter. He didn't roll his neck or spit or square his jaw. He simply stood there, calm in the way that still water is calm, not empty but deep. The general settled into his stance, telegraphing nothing but absolute readiness, and threw the first controlled grab, the kind meant to demonstrate a sweep, designed to be educational, not vicious. And then the general was on the floor. It happened in under 2 seconds. No one in the room fully processed what they saw. Daniel had slipped the grab with a half-step, redirected the general's momentum with both hands on the forearm, pivoted on his left heel, and used the general's own forward force to bring him down, clean controlled and with a gentleness that was somehow more startling than violence. He didn't slam the man. He lowered him, almost respectfully, like someone setting down something fragile. The room went absolutely silent. The general lay there for a moment, staring at the ceiling. Then he sat up slowly, and something moved across his face that wasn't anger or embarrassment, it was recognition. He looked at Daniel, who was already offering a hand to help him up, and he took it. "Where did you learn that?" the general asked, and his voice had changed completely. The command had gone out of it, replaced by something genuinely human. Daniel pushed his glasses up his nose. "My mother," he said. "She was a judo instructor. She taught me every evening after school until she got sick. I kept practicing after she passed. It was the only way I felt close to her." The room didn't laugh anymore. What happened in the weeks that followed was not dramatic in the loud way. There was no ceremony, no promotion, no movie moment. But the general began sitting at Daniel's desk during lunch, not to inspect paperwork, but to talk. He learned that Daniel had applied to officer training twice and been passed over both times for not having the right presence. He learned that presence, it turned out, was something people only recognized when it arrived in a form they already expected. The general made one phone call. He didn't pull strings or bend rules. He simply told the selection board what he had seen and asked them to look again, not at the resume, but at the man. Daniel was accepted on his third application. He went on to become one of the most respected tactical instructors the program had ever produced, known not for his power but for his precision, not for his volume but for his patience. He trained soldiers who won commendations. He trained soldiers who came home alive when they might not have. And every year, on the first day of his course, he would stand before a new group and say the same thing. The most dangerous person in any room is the one everyone underestimated. Make sure that person is you. If this story moves something in you, if it made you think of someone quiet in your own life who deserves to be seen, share it with them. Not every hero announces themselves. Some of them are sitting at the back of the room with taped glasses and steady hands, waiting for the moment when the world finally asks what they are made of. And when that moment comes, they are ready, because they never stopped preparing, even when no one was watching. That is the truest kind of strength there is. It never shouts. It never performs. It only needs one moment, one room, one hand raised quietly from the back, and the whole world shifts. Daniel Yan was that shift. A reminder that greatness does not always walk in through the front door. Sometimes it sits at a corner desk, carrying a grief no one asks about, holding a skill born from love rather than ambition. And somewhere out there, in some room where someone is being underestimated right now, so are you.